Hello, welcome to How to Game Officials Part 3, Setting Availability. Actually, it's setting and maintaining availability, since availability is a constant, ongoing process. Remember, we talked about how to make your assigner happy. A happy assigner gives you more games because they know they don't have to reassign them a second time. Well, your assigners like to see people that are available when they have games that need to be done. They start their scheduling very early. I'm doing this work in the middle of July, and we're already assigning premier games for the fall season. So, let's get going. In order to maintain your availability, you have to use change identity to be sure you're here. Michigan Ref Assigning. Right there. You want to be in that group. If you're not in group 1308 with Ref Assigning, use change identity to select that group, make it current so you can start. Now, if you are a player as well as a referee, as soon as you get your schedule of when you're practicing and when you're playing, sit down with your computer, click My Availability, and fill it in. Let's go back and play in October. I want to be not working a soccer game on Saturday the 5th because I have a game I have to play in. Click on the 5th. You see, here's the date. It shows the date. You come to the time. You don't want to be all day. I know I have an afternoon game, so I'm not going to be available from, in fact, let's just say 1 o'clock. Not going to be available from 1 o'clock in the afternoon until 6 o'clock in the afternoon, because I have to travel to my game, play my game, and come home. You want to make sure that Michigan Ref Assigning is checked. You want to make sure it says not available. And if your screen looks like this, come up to the Show Advanced Options and check it. And it will give you a chance to put in there that you're playing in Lansing. The little extra note in there, 1, reminds you what you're doing. And 2, if the assigner happens to have a game in Lansing, they might be able to call you and say, hey, when you're done, can you stay an extra 2 hours and pick up a game? And it'll be completely up to you, because now you're traveling, it's a little hard, but it gives you more opportunity. Then hit save. When you do that, 2 things happen. 1, it opens an entry down here at existing availability that lets you delete, copy, or edit. Tells you the date and the time, or the date and the day, tells you the time, tells you the group that you're working with, and then that you're playing in Lansing. But you have time to pick up an 8 o'clock game. So, I want to pick up that 8 o'clock game. I come back up here to 5, and I click on it. And I get this rather difficult to understand box. It's saying that you already have an entry. I want to make a new entry, though, because I want to tell it when I can work. So I hit, according to this, I click cancel. And I get a second entry for the same day where I say from 8 o'clock a.m. until noon, I'm available. And click save. You've selected noon as a starter and end time. They want to make sure you got it right and you don't mean midnight. you mean noon, and suddenly your red box turns to a striped box. Means you have two availabilities. You have an availability and you have a not availability. Now Sunday you don't have anything to do, so you say I can work all day. I'm available. You click it and you have a green. If you know that you could work every weekend the same time, a fast way to fill that in is to select the Saturday, then come down here and say I also want Sunday, so you have a start and an end. You want to work 10 o'clock until 9 o'clock every day that you're available. Hit save. It'll give you a thing saying, yeah, you got 2 days selected. Just say okay. If you want to do a couple of these and fill in your schedule, you just click on the next weekend. It already says you're starting on the 26th. Tell it you want to end on the 27th. The time's already set from last time. Availability is set. You can just hit save. And again, the little note saying, yeah. And you can keep doing this very quickly to fill your schedule out. Just remember to stretch it out to Sunday. Now, danger. Don't let this page create more messages. Do not click this box. If you click this box, you won't be able to add and change any more availability because it won't send you the little message for you to hit OK. So, if you do click the box, you'll have to exit Game Officials and come back in. Don't click that box. And you're all set. Remember, we're sitting here in July and I got availability in November, and your mother lets you know that your favorite cousin is getting married. And it's going to be a big party. So you're not going to be available the 2nd and 3rd of November. What do? Well, you go to the 2nd and edit it. And you know you're going to be out of town, so I say all day, I am not available. Wedding. Out of town. Turns red. And since you know it's going to be one heck of a wedding, you want a recovery day. You'll still be driving back, and now you've changed your availability. It's very, very simple. Remember to be in the right place. Michigan Ref Assigning, Group 1308. And you can go and navigate back and forth to set your availability and remove your availability. Now, depending on the resolution of your screen, you might notice that some of these boxes, like the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st, have a blue line around it. That's because somewhere in Michigan refs, there are games being played then. Available games. Now, when they get filled, they still show that color. So, right now, nobody cares about your availability on the 24th of September because there's no game scheduled. Of course, one will probably pop up there tomorrow. So, fill in your availability because I tell you, this assigner is looking for people on those days. To help you get the games you want, you can leave some notes for the assigner under My Preferences. Let's start with Miscellaneous Preferences. This information is general notes. Your assigner may not even look at it. But normally when a signer has you and hasn't used you in a while, doesn't remember what you like and don't like, they'll look here. You can tell them how many games you want to do in a day. I'm old. I can't do more than 3. If you're out doing U8s, it's sort of like eating popcorn. Yeah, you can do 5 or 6. Locations, if you have preferred cities. Fields, I live across the street from Brewer Park. You'd put that in there. It'd get some people very excited about your availability. Schedule preferences, team preferences, or if you have family on them, potential conflicts. This is a notes field. You can just put notes in there. Areas to work. I live in Grand Rapids. I used to do some games in Kalamazoo, but for me to go from Grand Rapids to Kalamazoo, 45-minute drive, to do a U8 game and then come back was not very fulfilling. So it became a maybe. The assigners down there know, okay, if it's a maybe, I better talk to him before I assign him the game. Lansing in the Detroit area, they see it's not a preference. If they want, they can still offer me the game, but I'm telling them, yeah, probably not. If I were working the men's league, I would have Metro Detroit turned on. Leagues and tournaments. So, you want to go to a tournament. Well, Ann Arbor Soccer Association is doing an adult rec tournament, 11v11 matches. If you want to be considered for the tournament, you just click here. And on their screen, the assigner, after you save it, the assigner will see a note that you're interested in tournament assignments. This is called self-selection. Some leagues have self-selection. Some leagues don't. This one's mainly for tournaments, but there's some leagues here that if you're interested in doing the Great Lakes Women's Soccer League, you have to click the box. Doesn't guarantee you'll get games in that league, but it lets the assigner know you want them. Finally, on this one, the game conflict. If there's a league that you know that you've played in or are still playing in and you want to be excluded from, letting the assigner know, Grand Valley Pass. I don't want to do Grand Valley Pass, U15 girls. And I put a little note in here. There's a reason I can't do it. Now, the assigner can see this and see, Mike's got a conflict. If I try to assign him to this game, I'll get a note saying there's a problem. Go take a look. Make sure you hit save to add it to the game conflict list. All right, so remember, treat your assigner nice. As soon as you can, get your availability in, and when you know your availability is changed, fix it quickly. Be sure you're filling your availability out in Michigan Referee Assigning, that's group 1308, not the learning section. Learning and registration, availability goes nowhere. We don't see it. You do all that hard work and we have no idea why. Good luck, have fun, and come back to see how to game officials for accepting and turning back games.